I'll call to order the regular public hearing and regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, July 8th, 2019. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
First District Councilwoman Myrna Maldonado. Third District Councilwoman Brenda Walker.
Present.
Fourth District Councilwoman Christine Vasquez. Fifth District Councilman Robert Garcia.
Present.
Sixth District Councilwoman Gilda Orange.
Present.
Councilman at Large Richard Medina.
Present.
Councilman at Large Emiliano Perez.
Present.
Councilman at Large Kenneth Monroe.
Present.
Council President Lenny Francisci.
Present. For the record, Clerk, Councilwoman Maldonado and Councilwoman Vasquez is under the weather. First thing on the agenda is to call the order of the public hearing. First ordinance, Clerk Santos.
Ordinance 19-0009, Nancy Copeland. An ordinance vacating a portion of a public alley pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-3-12/16.
And do we have someone to speak on this?
Richard Morrisroe, Acting City Planner. I think I spoke on this before. It was about a month ago, and you had a couple of questions. I remember Ms. Medina had a question as to why the alley didn't go all the way across to Magoon. I don't have an answer to that even yet, but would ask again in behalf of the Boys Club, in behalf of the property near Casablanca, that this ordinance be considered and passed. Are there any questions?
Councilman Garcia?
Yes, just based on the question that Rich wanted to know, why is there's no answer to it?
It could have been, I have not been working on this. I'm here primarily because of some of the other matters on the agenda tonight. I stepped forward because I do remember being here a month ago and remember the question. It can be done subsequently, but it was not done on this ordinance at this time.
Any other questions? I now open up the podium to see who is for or against ordinance 19-0009. I'm going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes for the regular scheduled meeting on June 10th, 2019?
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
No.
Monroe.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes. Do we have any communications from the mayor?
No, Mr. President.
Any communications from department heads?
Yes, accounts payable warrant 070319CC, 070819CC, and 070819LE.
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Medina to accept accounts payable warrants as read. Do you have any questions on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker.
Yes.
Garcia.
No.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
No.
Monroe.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes.
Would you like me to continue, Mr. President?
Yes.
Payroll warrant biweekly 061419, 062819, 062819, miscellaneous warrant.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Walker to accept payroll warrants bi-weekly as read. Any questions on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Francis,
Yes. Clerk Santos, next payroll warrant, please. Didn't you have one, you had two bi-weeklies and now you have one miscellaneous?
I read them all.
Oh, did you? Okay. Do you have any committee reports at this time? Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, Mr. President, fellow council members and the public, we had a public safety meeting on June 25th, 2019. Attorney Buscemi did the notes here. I'm going to read them into the records. The Public Safety Committee was assigned a task to determine whether the Ordinance Violation Bureau should be reestablished by passing a new ordinance of the City Council. The Public Safety Committee met on June 25th, 2019. Participants at the meeting included Vivian Daniels from the Clerk's Office, Judge Sonia Morris of the City Court, Attorney John Small representing the judge, Judge Morris, Deputy Police Chief Rivera, and City Council Attorney John Buscemi. After discussion, it was determined that the existing City Code Section 70.999 contains a provision for an Ordinance Violation Bureau, and that former City Judge Fontanes attempted to abolish the Ordinance Violation Bureau by issuing a court order. However, there is no legal authority for a city court judge to establish an Ordinance Violation Bureau which has been enacted by the City Council ordinance. Therefore, it was determined that the Ordinance Violation Bureau still exists under city law, and it will resume operation and resume processing parking tickets as soon as possible. The Ordinance Violation Bureau will be operated by the City Clerk's Office using the existing personnel of the City Clerk. Various administrative matters were discussed involving participation by the Police Department and the City Court to help the City Clerk's Office resume operation of the Ordinance Violation Bureau. What this basically says is that Judge Fontanes did away with it. He can't do away with it since we passed the ordinance. Correct, Attorney Buscemi?
It's on the books, and you can resume operations. No further action such as an ordinance is needed from the council. It's already done.
And there was further discussion with the Deputy Chief Rivera and myself and the City Clerk, reference when they issue the tickets, how the tickets are processed at the police station. I know they're going to come up with a quicker process that PD gives them to the clerk's office, and then also some type of tracking, the PD tracking them, because they don't track them. They just collect them, and I guess they put them in a pile. But I asked for them, the PD, to track their tickets and who writes them. Therefore, they could establish some type of report, and they could give that to the clerk's office also. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Moving on to board reports. Do we have any board reports? Clerk Santos, do we have any ordinances on first reading?
No, Mr. President.
Any ordinances on second reading?
No, Mr. President.
Any ordinances on third reading?
Yes, ordinance 19-0009, sponsored Mayor Anthony Copeland. An ordinance vacating a portion of a public alley pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-3-12/16.
So moved.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Garcia, to hear ordinance 19-0009 on third reading. Any questions on the motion? Councilman Garcia?
Councilman Medina, are you satisfied with not getting your answer, or?
No, not at all. This, Mr. President, this ordinance covers two separate alleys, am I correct?
Yes, you are.
I'd like to make a secondary motion to table this until we get an answer as to the one that's adjacent to Casablanca.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilman Medina, seconded by Councilman Perez, to table ordinance 19-0009. Any questions on the motion? Councilwoman Orange?
Councilman Dean, so you're just looking for the answer that you had asked them the last time about that one portion of the alleyway?
That is correct.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francis.
Yes. Clerk Santos, next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 19-0010, sponsored Mayor Anthony Copeland. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2752 entitled 15, Chapter 156 of the East Chicago Municipal Code, the zoning ordinance, and repealing all other ordinance in conflict therewith by amending section 156.077 special use by adding section 26 outdoor storage of vehicles as a principal use.
So moved.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Garcia, to hear ordinance 19-0010 on third reading. Any discussion on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
No.
Monroe,
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes. Councilman Santos, next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 19-0011, sponsored Mayor Anthony Copeland, an ordinance to allow for the creation of a new original art mural and the preservation of vintage original art mural on private property.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Monroe, to hear ordinance 19-0011 on third reading.
Mr. President, we have some further work to do, further refinement of this ordinance, and I request that the council defer third reading until the meeting on the 22nd.
I get a motion to table.
So moved.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilman Perez, seconded by Councilman Garcia, to table ordinance 19-0011. Any discussion on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange, Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes. Next ordinance, Clerk Santos.
Ordinance 19-0012, sponsored Mayor, or sponsored Councilman Lenny Franciski, an ordinance amending Title 7, Traffic Code, Chapter 72, Parking Regulation.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Perez, to hear ordinance 19-0012 on third reading. Any discussion on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes. Do we have any resolutions?
Yes, Mr. President, Resolution 19-0025, sponsored Councilman Lenny Franciski, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of East Chicago concerning a petition for a use variance to permit the operation of a restaurant at 1310 West 150th Street.
So moved, Mr. President. So moved, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Perez. Any discussion on the motion?
Richard Morris, Acting City Planner. This matter has gone before the BZA. The Jimenezes have been very patient in that this should have been before you 4 weeks ago and then 2 weeks ago, partly because of myself, it did not. The matter went before the BZA. It was unanimously approved, and Mr. and Mrs. Jimenez are here along with Angelisa Nunez, who's been helping them as an interpreter, and it is planned to be a Mexican restaurant at that site. It has been a restaurant before, but since it's been out of action for more than a year, it had to come before the BZA and yourselves to receive special use permit.
And if I could just say a few things about the Jimenez's bringing the business to the second district to East Chicago. I was at the BZA hearing, heard some of the residents there and the precinct committee woman as well. One of the issues was the parking. If you look, the ordinance 19-0012 takes care of that. There is a church also on the block, so we were all trying to find the best method for everyone to find the parking, which I think we did. I'm hoping my colleagues would vote on this tonight, and I'd like to welcome them to the city. Councilman Garcia?
How long has it been vacant?
I cannot tell you.
It's been vacant over a year. I know it used to be called the Star Bar, which there was some problems there at that address. They did go in front of the Lake County Liquor Board, which they were denied because of some of the problems that were there. So they will be opening up with serving no alcohol until, I believe they have a year or before they go back in front of the Liquor Board. If there is no problems with the bar, then they will get the liquor license.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's good news to bring another business here to the city. That's another building on the books paying property taxes, and there's something welcome in the neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President, prior to final action by the council, your legal counsel recommends 2 amendments to the resolution. On page 1, in the third whereas clause, you'll see that it states that the city council is going to consider the matter on Monday, July 10, 2019. That date should be amended to read Monday, July 8, 2019. And on page 2, at the very end of the now therefore clause, it should read use variance petition be granted and add the words subject to the 5 conditions established by the BZA. Those are the 2 amendments I recommend, and then recommend it be approved with those amendments.
Can I get a motion on that, please?
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Walker, to change the 2, one of the date and the other one with conditions on the resolution. Any questions on it? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Franceschi.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Do you have any old business, Councilman Garcia?
Yes, as we know, that bridge on Indianapolis Boulevard has been a headache, that the bridge work has been done, but Indianapolis Boulevard has not been open. I've been in communication with our city engineer, and also, I forget your name again? Mr. Cunningham, and the problem is the bridge, the work on the bridge has been done, and it's the state that is dragging their feet of opening this up. You could come to the podium, and they've been dragging their feet on trying to get this done, open. They even asked to see if they could get that one street open behind Todd Park. But the state has been fighting these guys, but I'm gonna let him explain it, and maybe we could do a letter and to our representatives to try to get the item to move on, opening up Indianapolis Boulevard, because the work has been done, and I'll let them continue.
My name is Doug Cunningham. I'm the construction manager for the city of East Chicago. We've been in touch with NDOT. We were promised that the bridge would be open on the 29th. We approached them to make sure, we went out there several times to see if they're ready to open up the bridge, and when we did contact them, they're trying to tell us that the bridge will not be open until the end of August, and we told them that was not acceptable. We made several phone calls. Will went on vacation today. He left me word that they promised to get back with him today, NDOT, and they did not. And I told Will I didn't really expect them to get back today since they've already changed one date. What's going to make them hold another day? So we are planning to have a meeting with NDOT, and not only these issues, we have several issues. NDOT has not been a very responsive partner to the city. We made several requests, from potholes to concerns with Michigan Street and Indianapolis Boulevards, signage, and we have not gotten a real good response at all. So we're planning to go to the top, meet with the gentleman by the name of Rick, and sit down and find out why this city is being treated the way they are. And it's been an ongoing problem, and I hope to get it resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, Mr. Cunningham, when I talked to Will, he was telling me that the work on the bridge has been done. We're just waiting on the boulevard, correct? Or they changed their story again?
My understanding, there is some work on the bridge. They could open that bridge up with even one lane going each way. They're claiming that there was some additional work that was not complete, but when you look at the bridge, we can have limited traffic on that bridge. They're not even willing to do that.
Mr. President, and the reason I bring it up, because I get constant phone calls. And ever since the state did away with that law with the trains, there's more trains now that come through there.
Correct.
There's a lot more trains. It's just been a constant hassle for the people of Markstown, but not only that, but to me, it's the public safety for the people in Markstown. Now they're telling us not to the end of August. That's if that happens in the end of August. But I think if we write a letter to our representative, get them involved in it, we need to get them involved in this, because this is a public safety issue.
Well, I'd like to set up a meeting and invite the council to attend that meeting. Because like I said, we have several problems. One of my concerns is even in the funding of our projects, I don't think we're being fairly treated. When I look at Whiting, when I look at Hammond, we've been in constant contact with them about Michigan Street, the repairs. I haven't gotten an answer, but it was about 2 days ago I was coming to work and I was listening to WJOB, where the mayor of Hammond has already made arrangements to have Michigan and Indianapolis repaired. But they won't get back to us. Even when it comes to maintenance, we spent all of that money to make a nice entrance on Columbus Drive. And if you look at the shoulder work, the shoulder maintenance for the overpass, it looks like a jungle. But we go 3 miles down the road where the kids use their slides in the wintertime, and that place is immaculate. So there's some disparity in the way they're actually dealing with East Chicago, and that's why I want to have the meeting. This is just one of the many issues that we're having with NDOT.
And I totally agree with you, because I tell you what, Indianapolis Boulevard from the Illinois state line to Chicago is being redone.
Yeah.
From the bridge from Hammond.
Correct.
As far as where you can go down is being redone. It's like we've been skipped on purpose.
And we are even willing to put some additional dollars to make things better, but it looks like they don't want to even come up with the additional dollars. So we're almost at the point where, case in point, the pedestrian bridge. That bridge was, engineered budget came out at $4 to $5 million. When we got the bid back from NDOT, it was $9 million. and their only solution was throw money at it. Well, what went wrong? How does a bid double? There's something wrong. Is it the delivery system? Is it the schedule? But our only resolution is, well, you got to come up with more money, and we told them that wasn't acceptable. So,
Mr. Cunningham, if you could set that meeting up and invite the council, and also don't forget, list our representative, our legislators,
yes.
so they can attend that meeting, because they should have that direct line to the governor and also to IDEM.
Specifically, Senator Randolph should be invited and Representative Davis.
Correct.
Okay.
We appropriated a lot of that money at the beginning of the year.
Correct.
And I remember for the pedestrian bridge, so that formula has changed of what they said they was gonna put in and what we was gonna put in.
The engineer budget came in at about 4 or 5 million, and the actual bid came in at 9. When you look at, when we got the bid analysis, I approached them and they said, well, let's do some value engineering, okay? And value engineering can only reduce costs anywhere between 10 to 15%. Either that bid was either over-designed, or the delivery system was bad. In the words of delivery system, let me kind of explain myself.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Cunningham. Are we still on the bridge? Where are we at now? Because
Yeah, no.
I think we're losing
Okay.
focus here. And
Okay.
maybe we just need to set the meeting up with
We'll set the
NDOT.
meeting
I'm
up.
not trying to cut you short,
Yeah.
but
No, I understand.
we're
I
on one
understand.
bridge and we're going up pedestrian. So
I
kinda-
understand. It's just,
you know.
it just reflects on,
Yep.
we are not satisfied ourselves, okay?
Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bring it up.
Councilman
New business.
Santos? I'm sorry, I'm still thinking back. We voted to amend the resolution 19-0009, but we haven't voted to amend this. So can we get a vote on it, please?
To adopt.
Have a motion to adopt resolution 19-0009.
So move.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Medina, seconded by Councilman Perez. Any questions on the motion? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francis.
Yes. We have any other new business? Councilman Medina?
Going back to the bridge on Indianapolis Boulevard, perhaps, Chairman of Public Safety, maybe we should draft a letter directly to the governor. This bridge closure has not only been a public safety issue, but it's also been an economic issue for a lot of the businesses on Indianapolis Boulevard. Many of them have lost many dollars. A few of them have just recently opened and are struggling to stay open. I think this issue, we can't wait for meetings with everybody. I think we'll draft a letter straight to the governor, let him express our concerns as council members that this needs to be expedited as soon as possible.
Councilman Medina, I'll get with Attorney Buscemi. We'll get something written. If I could get everybody to endorse it, could even be better.
And perhaps maybe even a phone call. I mean, it's been way overdue. Their due date, they were supposed to open several weeks ago, am I correct?
Correct.
Just a suggestion.
Councilman Perez?
Mr. Buscemi, regarding the information I requested from the city controller's office, did we receive it?
We have not. I have followed up with Mr. Gomez as recently as direct communication with him here, and he assured me at that time that the information would be forthcoming, but I've not received it yet. So your request now dates back 2 months to the month of May.
So a little bit of background for my colleagues. I've requested information on the number of part-time workers versus full-time workers. I was getting a lot of complaints from the workers about how they're being utilized and switched from department to department without formal transfers. So I just wanted to look at that information and see what kind of numbers we were looking at, full-time versus part-time, and where they're assigned. And I asked for that information. I didn't ask for any personal information. I didn't ask for social security. I didn't even ask for names, just how many bodies are where and where they're assigned. You heard Mr. Buscemi, 2 months, and they've just ignored my request. I'm asking for this body to submit a subpoena for the information.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilman Perez, seconded by Councilman Garcia to subpoena, was it Mr. Val Gomez?
The info.
The city records pertaining to numbers of full-time and part-time employees by department.
Any questions on the motion? Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, Mr. President, I just want to say this is ridiculous that we got to subpoena information, us being council members. This has just probably been a handful of subpoenas that we have to hand out for us to get information. This is so basic information, and to me is a slap in the face. Us council members, if we don't get this information, that's a total disrespect to us, and we should be getting this information. That's been 2 months. Is more than enough time to have answered them, or if not, gave them called up and tell them what the issue is, or anything. But nothing has been done on the city controller's part there about the information. I had plenty of run-ins trying to get myself trying to get information, and it's been a hard time trying to get that information also. But it's a shame that he can't get this basic information.
Any other questions? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
No.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisti.
Yes. Have any other new business? Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, I want to get back on the pedestrian bridge.
Yeesh.
Have that money been appropriated already for the pedestrian bridge?
Yeah.
It has?
Correct.
Um,
Right now, we're in a whole pattern. The last conversation I had with them, we went to a meeting in LaPorte, I think it was, and when I talked with them, my concern was the fact that schedule can impact dollars toward the contract, and my concern was they're not allowed to a lot of discovery as to what went on during the bidding process. I've been in construction for 27 years. I've worked in estimating 10 years with the largest construction contractor in the country. And when we go through the bid process, we sort of do like an autopsy to see where that bid was. What was the cause? If it was scheduled, how many lane closures they can have. If they're not allowed adequate lane closures, that means they're into overtime. If the schedule is accelerated, that means that they're going to work Saturdays and Sundays. So this is probably the cause within the difference in price between the budget and what was actually bid. And they give you very limited access to this data, which makes it very difficult to find out what went wrong. I did find out, though, that, for instance, when it comes to underground utilities, the bid package was I think was done by Hasi, and we did find out that street value was $500,000, but at bid time, it went for $900,000. So those are kind of questions where I have a problem trying to get my hands around cost, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to discover and hold costs, and doing part of the process is they don't give a lot of information out. So you can only make assumptions. And my assumption is, number one, that when contractors don't have a clear set of drawings, when they don't have a good schedule, when they have unknowns, we throw money at it. And this was part, and you got an aggressive schedule. You can't have the adequate lane closure, so you have a lot of overtime. Aggressive schedule means that there's some liquidated damages, and the cost of doing business, if you know you can't get it done in that time frame, you throw some additional dollars at it. So that's where we need to sit down with them again and have another meeting.
And Doug, and I knew this had nothing to do with you, reference this pedestrian bridge, because I know we appropriate that money. So I don't know how we put the cart before the horse, so how did we appropriate this money when that project was not even bidded out or properly bidded out?
I'm not sure I know that we can't put anything out for bid without a PO. You got to have a PO to do that. And the money, my understanding, the money was appropriate, and it typically is. We have a budget. We know what the price is supposed to be. So when the price doubles, we did not accept that bid. We rejected that bid, and we're going back out to bid to see how to fix it. And if not, we may have to, like I told the guy, I told the developer, the engineering firm, that he said, well, we can reduce the cost. Well, who's going to pay for the redesign? Well, the state says I am. I said, where are you going to get the money? From construction. I told him that's not good. I think we need to hold people accountable. I think the bridge was over-designed, and I think that the designer needs to come up with the additional money to fix it.
Doug, also, because Guthrie Street has been tore up for too long, it's still in the same predicament. Can you give the council an update on Guthrie?
Okay. We are in litigation with Guthrie Street. It is a project where the contractor walked off. I can't really tell you a lot because then I would show my hands as far as when it comes to litigation and strategy. I know that in talking with the attorneys that at the end of this month, we will get an okay to either to proceed with a new contractor or we'll have to work with the old one. So we've been going through the legal process. I think we've done very well. It's just that I got to finish out this timetable.
Do we have a performance bond from the original?
Yes, we do. And we've been in touch with the bond company. So,
And I bring Guthrie up because it's a safety issue.
I understand. And what we tried to do, last Friday, I was out there with our crews, working on the one-way streets, the signage, trying to fix all the potholes, because in the 4 weeks, things will start changing where I can go back to construction and get that job completed.
Thank you, Don.
Okay.
I just got one more thing on new business, Mr. President. I will be calling for a public safety meeting. I'm going to try to meet with the FOP and the fire union. I'll give everybody a date.
Any other new business? Moving on to public expression, I do believe we do have one. You please keep your comments to 3 minutes. We do have Rosa Gonzalez.
Good afternoon. I'm a resident of East Chicago, originally from Whiting since 1974. And I'm also concerned with the issue of the bridge. It's not the first time the state of Indiana has blocked us. I was coming from Illinois, went through the boulevard, came, got stuck by a train. Police were stuck by a train. The train finally released, and the first thing to fly by was an ambulance. So we're the most affected, because if there's an ambulance that has to come pick somebody up, they could be having a heart attack. How are they going to get through there? The only way I could leave town, I leave an hour ahead for a doctor's appointment. I've gotten a boat, double train, and made it in 5 minutes to a doctor's appointment right here on the boulevard. And that day, the police SUVs were also in line. Sunday, I was leaving for church around 10 o'clock in the morning. There was an SUV policeman who stopped somewhere with Illinois license plate. Apparently, could have been from somewhere else. The back window was shot up. We're not used to that anymore. But apparently, from what I would think, they came from somewhere else and had nowhere to turn or to hide. I don't know. I'm speculating. And it's a big safety issue for us because we have a lot of older citizens there. I've lived there in that subdivision for 41 years. There's people that have lived there since day one. So they were raised and grown there. Robert Garcia knows them by name. Adrian Santos knows them. He went to school with some of them. So again, my concern is emergency services. There are a lot of elderly people there in wheelchairs. Their nurses have to come and visit them, including my brother-in-law and other people down the street. They have home care. They only have so much time to take care of their patients. And if they can't get through on time, sometimes they won't come. So they have to reschedule. The same when the hospital comes for you for therapy, they give you a certain time. They come sometimes a half hour early because I've had to take that van. And in the wintertime, they were there okay because the bridge was open. They can come through Harbor and they have different ways to go. The bus driver asked me in April, okay, I'm lost now. The GPS was taking her to down by Black Street to the harbor. I said, oh, no. I'm gonna tell you how to go. You don't get up on the expressway. I
You
explained
have
to her how
30
to get
seconds,
there.
ma'am.
I explained to her, she's only been working here a month, but with all this construction, I said, no, you can't go down Guthrie. She had to go down 145th. So I had to go through around to get to Sunnyside, Columbus Drive, and to get to Sunnyside to pick up a patient at the end of Sunnyside without getting lost and trying to go over here. They had her, GPS had her going down Guthrie. I said, you can't go that way. So it's affecting also the hospital vans. Okay, all the emergency services. So, yeah, I'm representing because no one's able to come. And we're at the point where, again, we might have to protest, which we had to do in the past. And the newspapers and Channel 7 or whatever will be aware of this.
Thank you. Your 3 minutes is up, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Medina. Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange, Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francis.
Yes. Good night.